Hello friends! If you're tuning in this week, hopefully you watched my video last week, and if not, I'll go ahead and link that down below. That was an everyday drugstore makeup look. This week I went for something a little bit more full coverage, a little bit more glamorous. This is something that I wear with my glasses or without my glasses, as you can see. So if you're wondering how to get this full coverage, winged, glamorous look, then stay tuned. Okay, so we're gonna start this eye look off with some Urban Decay eyeshadow primer potion. Mine is just in the original formula. So I put some on the back of my hand. We're gonna really work this into the eyelids, that way our shadow and our liner stays all day. I personally have really oily eyelids, so this step is essential. And the reason we're starting with the eyes today is because this liner is sort of difficult. At least for me, I'm not a pro at gel liner, and so that way if I mess up and I, worst case scenario, have to start over, I don't have to do my entire eye again. That does happen sometimes. Okay, next I'm going in with Stila's Eyes Are the Window Shadow Palette, and mine is in Mind, which is the completely matte palette. I'm just taking that lightest color. I'm gonna set the primer potion. This step is probably a little excessive, but again, since my eyes are so oily, it helps. Okay, and then with my blending brush, let's see what color is that. That was Brilliance. Now I'm gonna go in with Genius, just a skin colored. Then I'm gonna go in with, what do I do? With Observation, which is sort of a warm gray color. I'm getting a slightly more pointed brush. This one is a blending brush from Sephora. And I'm going to be going in with Reason, which is the black color in the palette. And this is really pigmented, so you want to kind of tap off any excess. Just sort of lay that in the corner really gently and then blend it up. So then I'm getting my bigger blending brush, and I'm gonna go in with Understanding, which is sort of a pinky color. Just gonna blend that all out. And for me, as a glasses wearer, this step really makes all the difference when doing winged eyeliner, because sometimes the wing can get lost in the shape of my glasses. And this just kind of helps give extra definition to the eye. So now for the fun part. We're going to take a angled brush, like this one from Sephora. This is just one of their travel packs of brushes. And we're going to go into the Maybelline Gel Studio, Eye Studio Liner in brown. This part's a little bit tricky, so we're going to go slow. So what I like to do, sort of dab the excess off in the lid, just really work it into the brush. And then I kind of go back eye to eye just to make sure that my liners match up. So first thing I do is figure out where I want my liner to end and just draw a line. Because I have hooded eyes, this part can be pretty difficult. So I just go slow. Okay, so then I'm gonna get a little bit more product from the lid, again working it into the brush, make sure it's really concentrated on there. I'm gonna go to the other eye. Get a little bit more. Okay. And then I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna sort of look at where I put the other line and try to mimic that. Okay, So then we're gonna go to the edge of our line and just go straight down. And then we're gonna flip our brush over till we get the angle the other direction. Go all the way to from the inner lid out. Okay, so then you can kind of sit back, survey your work, see how you like it. Now comes the tough part, which is matching up the other eye to this eye. Okay, so we're getting a little bit more product on our brush. And I like to sort of push it down into the brush and the cap. Getting our mirror, doing the same thing. So we're going from the tip of this line straight down in a triangle motion. I'm sure anyone that does liquid liner or gel liner knows that you always have one eye that's easier to do, and this eye is my easy eye. Like every time I do it, it looks perfect, and this is the eye that's like ridiculous, that you end up having Amy Winehouse eyeliner on this side and a little Marilyn Monroe on this side, and you're like, what the heck? So I had my brush like this for the tip, and then I'm flipping it so that the angle sort of helps me do all the work. Going from the inner corner out. That's as good as it's gonna get. So now you can look and see, do we want a little bit more shadow? Do we want to add a little bit more color? What do we want? So I'm gonna go back in with my Stila palette, and this palette's great because it has a lot of warm neutral colors. I really like the sort of, I think how to describe the color, it's sort of a brick brown color. So it's called Intellect. I'm just gonna grab a little tiny bit of this. This is one of my favorite things to do when I do this look. Just add a little bit of that warm brown right in the corner. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with mascara. And then I always like to take my brush and sort of clump the ends. My sister taught me this trick. She called it Bambi eyes. Okay. And that honestly is the most difficult part of this look, and so I really took my time with it. This was probably like 20 minutes. So now we're gonna get back to the rest of the face and get you ready for your Sunday afternoon out. Okay, so now we're gonna get to the rest of the face. So today I'm gonna do something that I don't normally do, but that I've been sort of seeing a lot of on YouTube, and I'd like to try out, which is a little bit of color correcting. So I've got a lot of, I don't know if you'd call it hyperpigmentation, but just dark red spots that really poke through whatever I put on my face. So I've got one of the green Naked Skin color correcting sticks. So we're just gonna try it out. So I'm just really only putting it on my few, mostly, I don't know how to say it, my reddest spots. And I'm putting this on underneath my foundation because I don't know how it's going to turn out. So then I'm taking a Real Techniques sponge that I dampened and just sort of working it in. I'm sure at the end you will probably still see some of my foundation, some of my spots poking through my foundation, but hopefully it'll just be a little bit less noticeable. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with my foundation. I'm just shaking it up a little. So I am in love with the Revlon Color Stay. This is what I wore on my wedding. It's beautiful. I've tried a lot of high-end foundations and this is just my all-time favorite. So I'm in the color 110 Ivory, obviously. So I'm just gonna pour some on the back of my hand. And then using a Sigma, let's see, F80. It's the flat top kabuki brush. Got this for Christmas last year and it is like hands down my favorite brush ever. Derek, you need to stop making kissy faces at me. So again, I'm sort of rubbing off a lot of that green, but I don't want it to look too covered up. I don't want to look like a Barbie. I don't want to say I want to look natural because this is clearly not natural, but I don't want to look like cake face either. Okay, so once that's really worked into the skin, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of concealer. So I've got the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in 15 Fair. Just gonna put a little bit of that under my eyes. The forehead. I'm super self-conscious about my forehead because it's like I have a lot of eyebrow expressions and so I've got a lot of wrinkles going on, so I kind of just like to highlight there and take some of the emphasis away. Okay, and then lastly, I'm gonna try to cover up the spots just a little bit. So I got one of the oldie but goodie Maybelline cover sticks. This one is in Ivory, again, white. And this is really cakey, so I just put the teeniest bit on. And only on the spots that really poke through. All the other ones I don't really care about, but just these few. Just kind of dab it on there. It's very thick. And then I'm taking one of the mini flat top kabuki brushes from Sigma. This is the Precision Flat P80 brush. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with some Maybelline Loose Powder in Fair. So what I do, I don't know if you can see this, is I just kind of dump a little bit into there and I just kind of move it around so it's not all in one spot, and then get a really big fluffy brush. This is one of the Real Techniques powder brushes. Just kind of work it in there. Of course we're in black leggings so it's getting everywhere. Just kind of like work it into the brush and then tap off any excess. And then just sort of go to town. Okay, so now we're finally done with our skin and we're gonna just add a little color. So first I wanna add a little bronzer. I'm going in with the, sorry I gotta find a good brush, with the Too Faced Sun Bronzer. I'm just going into that lighter side because at least on mine it's got sort of a split pan thing. There's a little bit darker side and a little lighter side. So I'm going into the lighter side using a Sigma F05 brush. And I'm going to second my cheeks and do just a little bit of contouring, but really just to warm up the skin. So really lightly because this stuff is pigmented. Oh, it smells so good. It literally smells like chocolate. I would love to get the milk chocolate bronzer because I think that would probably be a better fit for me, but I just got this limited edition palette last summer just to kind of try out some of their stuff because I'm new to the whole bronzer world. Because again, I embrace my pale, so. class in high school. We were asked to draw our partners' faces that sat across from us in class. And the kid across from me was not good at art and drew a legit circle of my face. And when my art teacher came around the room, she said, "Oh, you've captured her round face beautifully." So that's scarring. That is scarring. So yeah, apparently I need to get up on this contouring thing because this face is round. Okay, so now we're gonna go in with a little bit of blush. So this is the True Match blush, and it's one of the cool shades. They have like warm and cool shades. And this is in C12. I think it's Baby Blossom, but I ripped the tag off the back, so I think it says Baby Blossom. And then I'm going in with a Sigma large angled contour brush, which is the F40. This is my favorite blush brush. It's amazing just for kind of like getting in the hollows of the cheeks, but also you can kind of use the tip if you want to add a little more here and then work it out. It's amazing. So we're gonna suck in our cheeks again and just go right over the top of that contour. So we're sort of using the blush as a sculptor rather than going right on the hollows of the cheeks, or right on the apples of the cheeks. This stuff is like baby skin. Like it's so cute, so you really can't add too much. Well, I'm sure you could, but hopefully you won't. It's a really cute face. Okay, almost done here. So now we're gonna add some highlight. This is my favorite highlight of all times. This is the Becca Shimmering Skin Perfector in Moonstone, and this is amazing if you have light skin. I mean, it is like amazing. And then I'm going in with a Sigma F35 highlighter brush. And then I'm just gonna suck my cheeks again and go right over the top of the blush. So we're really having sort of an ombre effect on our cheeks, and that's gonna be really pretty at the end. This is probably excessive, but this is my favorite part. And then I like this because it's got the nice pointed tip, and really layer that up. And then go right under the brow bone as well. And that's like really pretty. Now we're just gonna do a little bit of brow gel because these babies will fly away if I don't set them. Okay, and last but not least, we're just gonna go in with a little bit of lip balm. So I'm gonna go in with the Lip Smacker Dr. Pepper lip balm because it's Sunday, and why not? This actually has a little bit of a tint, plus it tastes amazing. Okay, and then my favorite right now is this Sephora, what's it called? Oil Infusion. And this one is in the color Cherry. It's number 5. It's so nice. Just kind of rub that in. It's kind of like a lip gloss, but it's oily, which sounds like it would be gross, but it's amazing. It soaks in and it just kind of leaves a little bit of color. I had a sample of a different one. I think it was in Raspberry. It's a pinky shade. And I had to go in and get this because I do. Okay, so now I'm just gonna work that in. And then finishing touches, thank you Derek, I'm just gonna have my glasses, which are dirty as hell. But there you go, that's the finished look. I guess you probably wanna see it without my glasses though too. Okay, I'm done. I really am done.